So Dix, one of our mods, has put together a log file, a spreadsheet that is Give-a-gami, and it is the what are the amounts that on Desert Bus that we have done when it comes to doing giveaways, which I think is a very accurate idea. To be, and this is funny because like, me seeing this now means that it's very easy for me to just decide, well, from now on we're doing this and we're doing this, we're doing that kind of idea, which is not great because it means that it's ruining me on what's possible. But in the log, or I guess it's Dix's log, but it's he inspired the log. People are logging this. Thank you for clarifying that in chat, Dix. And so, for example, $5 even has been used before as Give-a-gami, but $5.17 has never been used, and that's the first one. 501, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5.17 is the first one in that list where it wasn't used.
5.11 hadn't been used until you just did it.
Nice. I was unaware.
Yeah, so many people in the chat mentioned that when you did it.
And you'd think that, like, well, clearly there's so many available that obviously at some point we would have been using these. No, because we had a giveaway run for $27 even one time. Yeah. I don't know when.
$27?
Yeah. And
what?
I don't know because they're not commented to say when everything was, and there'd be overlaps and stuff too. But going to look at it, like, there was a $25 even. There was one for that as well. There's it's just kind of amazing to see because it's like all clustered around between $4 and $10.
I mean, it's a very good example as to why humans are bad at choosing random numbers.
Yeah. Because like for $5 entries,
we like fun-looking numbers.
Oh,
Beej.
What's up?
Danger time.
I didn't hear the audio sting, so I didn't know.
Apparently the noise is broken, so now it's silent holes.
Oh,
No, that's terrifying.
dangerously silent.
Oh, my head's already here. Oh, perfect.
Wait, which hand is that?
That's my left hand. Yes. There we go.
Great work, Paul.
That's really
We're
good.
gonna call that a victory!
Hooray.
Yay!
That's from Thank Goodness You're Here, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a super great game. Very, very weird, but highly entertaining.
So there's a massive cluster from basically between $4 and $10 and cents between 0 to about 34 are very heavy clusters. But once you get past $10.34, it's mostly white space for a while with a few little things here and there. And then when you get into things like $11 and $12, between $11.25 and like $12.25, like that area, the first quarter there's some scatter going on in there, but like there's nothing when you get into like $11.50. There's an $11.70, $11.71. There's an $11.99. It just whitens out like a whole bunch.
Yeah, I feel like over the course of the of Desert Bus, we've kind of locked into the like between $5 and $10.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting. I mean, I don't know if there's stats on it, and obviously you can't really measure it because it's hard to correlate it because all the prizes are different.
Yeah.
But the idea of like, there's apparently someone was saying that $27 was for an uncut foil sheet.
At DB6.
Yeah.
That would make sense because that was the time when it's like those things are not around, right? It's very unusual that would be a thing that would be made available. So naturally, we would have assumed and assigned a lot of value to that. And these days, it's like we have a few of those on site to give away, and we've been doing them every year. We've kind of become inured to them, so we're like, yeah.
Well, but it's also this idea that like even if it is something that is inherently valuable, if you put it at $27, sure, that's certainly a not unreasonable price. But if you put it at
$9,
then somebody who was going to be spending $27 would get 3 entries.
Yeah.
Whatever, depending on, and so but it's the question is whether that like I don't know
Does it encourage you to give $27 if you've got it?
does it raise
Yeah.
and making those sort of correlations, I think would be very difficult. I don't know, maybe we've had enough prizes over the years that we could sort of make some kind of, because I remember like early on when we first started doing giveaways as a concept, it didn't take too long for us to realize that like things were going for like a giveaway made way more money than like a live auction.
Yeah.
Especially depending on what the thing was. But we were like, oh, like this thing that we think is awesome, you know, like a whatever, you know, some sort of amazing craft or thing that we're like, this, it feels wrong to be like $5.
Yeah.
People should be putting hundreds of dollars in for this thing. But when you do it for the giveaway in aggregate, it turns out it'll, you know, whereas if we had live auctioned it, it might make a couple $1,000s. When we do it through the giveaway thing, it'll make a huge amount.
Yeah.
Kind of like the sword, the first sword.
Yeah.
I think because that was planned as a auction and then became a giveaway because reasons.
Yeah, I know that with quilts, because this is what kind of happened to Heather, is that she made the Goomba quilt just as a fun exercise of something I want to make. Couldn't sell it to anybody on like just Etsy or whatever. Gave it to Desert Bus 4, sold for $3,000
Was that a live auction?
on live auction. Octopimp, I think, was the one who bought it. That was Octopimp's big year, right? And which just floored everybody. And then so she made another quilt for the following year. In fact, she did quilts I think for like a few more years. She did a mushroom, she did a star, she did Karibo shoe, which I thought was great because it was like I wanted it to be, I don't know if it was like a sock that you could actually get into or not. I can't remember, but I was telling you you should do that, and she's like, that's twice as much work because I have to make a big pocket for it, right? But so for one of them though, she had said, could you do it as a giveaway instead? I think it was the mushroom one that she said, could we do it as a giveaway instead? And it's like, would that even be a good idea? Like, it was kind of discussed a little bit about that. And it's like, well, let's, you know, why not just give it a shot and see what happens? Because everyone wants to make blankets now. So Heather's like, yeah, put mine up for a giveaway. It made like $4 or $5,000 because everyone was like, oh, I actually now have a shot. Instead of doing a live auction to win this thing, I actually have a shot at winning one of these things through a giveaway, even if it's $5. It's like entering the lottery. I spent $6 the other day on a Lotto Max, and I'm like, if I win $60 million, then great. Like, I mean, obviously, great. But it's like, I wouldn't have entered that if it was like, well, you got to put $1,000 down to enter this draw. I'd be like, absolutely not.
Even if your chances might be better.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it wouldn't be worth it. It'd be like, I could still lose, and then I lost $1,000. So,
But it's an interesting sort of combination of like economics and psychology.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not that, you know, obviously, you know, we're wanting to encourage people to donate money as much as possible, but also not trying to, you know, trick people into donating more or anything weird like that.
And part of the fun, I think, too, is that if you know that if you came to Desert Bus and you're like, I got $100 to my name to spend, and you can enter a dozen different giveaways, that's fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I have the fun of seeing if I'm going to win something while I'm watching everything go on, as opposed to I've got $100 to spend. Oh, I can't win anything at a live auction or a silent auction. It's like, yeah, that's, you know, it's nice to have a way for people to be involved, to feel like they're still, you know, having a lot of fun and getting excited about stuff, but still gambling responsibly. This isn't
Now, the thing that does throw the numbers a little bit out of whack are things like usually like the last giveaway item
yes.
in the thing will go for ridiculous. I mean, you know, for a long time when we were still doing like the driver shifts.
Yeah.
I would often have the last shift.
Yes.
And so
We'd have the Paul wall.
yeah, everyone would be like, "Holy crap, what did Paul do?" And it's like I mean, I was just sitting here.
Yeah.
It just happens to be that, you know, when we're at the end of Desert Bus, everyone has their war chest, and they're like, "Well, I guess there's nothing else to bid on."
Time to spend it.
Yeah.
And so then, but then, you know, we go back to whoever we gave, you know, whoever made us the thing for the last piece. You know, sometimes I know what's his name? The wonderful prop maker he's made swords and guns and things.
Something skunk. Skunk Works.
Sam.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I know he's supplied our sort of final thing a few times. So yeah, we go back and be like, this raised, $250,000. Your thing was awesome, but to be fair, that might not be entirely down to how great your.
Well, the suitcase today I think made like 48K.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Jacob's
Which is
suitcase.
just a suitcase of stuff that Jacob brought back from Japan.
It's pretty darn rad.
There was some spicy stuff in there.
Did he show off everything in the suitcase?
Oh no, he showed off one thing, but he was back to camera, so like everybody on the couch could see it all.
Wow,
Nice.
that's one of those like, do you want this great thing or do you want what's in the suitcase?
And if you're already a person who wants to gamble on a giveaway, then
Double gambling.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
I hope that the person just
It is.
just ship it. Just ship like the suitcase and then the contents of the suitcase separately, like 2 days apart. So they get a suitcase, open it up, and it's empty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Psych.
Yeah.
And then
Bidding on a
like,
suitcase. What are you
and then the
thinking?
next day they get a box with a bunch of great stuff.
Yeah. It has been suggested that we could try to finish an entire dollar amount column. I don't want to try to do that. Like, I'm going to leave the log up for fun as something to look at, but I don't want to try to just say this is what we're doing from now on, because we could do that. Like, we could try to push for that, but I think it's more funny to watch the things emerge semi-randomly, right? Where people are like, I like to have it in this area, and I want to, now that I know that stuff towards the end of the after the 50-cent mark is harder to get, I will probably be like, well, we'll throw in some 63s or some 72s or whatever. Like, we might do that a little more, but I'm not gonna go look to be sure if we've done one before or not. I'd rather just see what my brain decides or what we decide to do. If somebody's like, I think 62 is better than 63, it's like, great, 62 it is. Okay, cool, that's what we're doing. Is it Give-a-gami? I have no idea.
Yeah, you don't want to get too. It's that thing where like once you start measuring something, then that measurement becomes useless because everyone's marking themselves by that measurement.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Heisenberged this sucker because now it's like, oh, you by observing it, you've changed what it is you're looking at.
Have we done every N69 at this point? Surely.
Oh, that's a good question.
There was one year where we did a lot of them by just rolling dice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was probably obviously end up being more random than otherwise. Although there's a lot of fudging with that though. Be like, well, there's those 2 dice. We'll add them together. We'll add because you got to get into the right amount.
We have
Great
done
numerology.
we've done all but one
All but one.
of the early stack, yeah. And I mean, this is also the funny thing is, right, like $4 is, I like how they have the $4 thing marked in gray because $4 is now forbidden Give-a-gami
Right.
because we don't do anything under $5 anymore. So those early ones are like, we'll never see anything in that column ever again unless PayPal or whomever changes their fee structure or the donation structures change that you don't get it all eaten up in. Well, it's not just purely PayPal now, right?
No, it is not. Beej.
How else can you give then, Matthews?
You can give through Apple Pay, Google Wallet Pay, and what's the last one? Stripe. Thank you.
Stripe.
Yes.
Yes.
So there are
I
you
missed
have
the bus stop.
you have
Oh,
many
yeah.
options if you are interested in giving, and we don't know what the transaction fees would be on any of those.
It essentially works out to the same
Yeah.
as PayPal.
Does it?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So, but what I understand is the foreign exchange rates will be different because it'll be probably based on your credit card.
I believe that's correct.
That is correct.
Because
Yeah.
PayPal's Forex sucks.
Yeah. But big thing is, I think this is especially good for like folks who had trouble last year because of the New Zealand time.
Yes. Yeah.
And it also just makes it so that we're not completely dependent on PayPal,
Yeah.
which evokes back in the day we used a service called Chip In.
Oh yeah.
Because it was sort of a thing that fit on top of PayPal, and it was just a way to track that because people would be PayPaling directly to Child's Play, and it was a way to just to track that those came from us, and nobody knew I don't know if Chip-in is still around, but at the time, but even at the time, there was no. We tried to contact them multiple times, and the site hadn't been updated in a lot. It was unclear as to whether Chip-in was an active project or whether it was just a server running in a closet somewhere. And it would. There was also as the final hours of Desert Bus happened, we would be like, everybody, don't all donate at once. Chip-in will not be able to, and because we crashed it a couple times. And we're like, okay, just everybody whose name starts with the first part of the alphabet, donate now. And then we'll do the second half later.
One guy gets a text message on his phone that he has to drive across town because one single server stack is on fire in a back room.
It's like, why does this happen on this 1 week every year?
And then, yeah. And then I believe Fugi and Ashton basically rewrote Chip-in themselves.
Highest racing giveaway is the Buster Sword.
Yeah.
2015, 2021.
The Master Sword was 90K, and that was 2018.
Yeah, when I saw the thing go by, because Sokard put in chat there, and it said 11,170 for the Buster Sword. I'm like, I am pretty sure we've had better giveaways than that. It's like, 110,000. Oh, yes.
Missed a decimal.
Yeah.